These are only minor sores, growing pains we'll ignore. Don't let this become all you have. These are only minor sores, growing pains we'll ignore. Don't let this become all you have, all you have.
Welcome to my first in a new series called Lessons for My Grandkids. And I have some budding drummer grandkids coming up. And that includes my oldest budding drummer grandson, Asher, my youngest budding drummer grandson, Elliot, and I also have Jace and Trey, and possibly even Ansley at some point in time may jump in and play drums. Most of the other ones have kind of committed that they won't be drummers. But that's a potential for 5, and I know I've got 2 pretty solid ones, possibly 3. So today's lesson is going to be a basic lesson, but I think these lessons that I'm doing for my grandkids are going to be lessons that are going to be applicable to everyone. Guys that follow me on my YouTube channel or Instagram channel, guys that want to learn some different techniques and different ideas of how I approach things. So the first thing we're going to talk about is grip. Now, when we talk about grip, my grip has changed throughout the years. I started with a traditional grip, okay, with a traditional fulcrum point of the index finger and the thumb, with the fingers wrapped around on the right hand, and the left hand being, the fulcrum point being between the thumb and the index finger, and wrapping the 2 fingers over with the index finger over, and then you have the ring finger and the pinky below. And that was my traditional starting point for grip. So when I started playing drums, this is where I started. This is how everybody started, it seemed like, at my age group. So now there are guys that can play traditional grip wonderfully, like Vinny Colaiuta, Buddy Rich, Dave Weckl, Todd Schuckerman. There's a ton of guys that can play great traditional grip. And it has some merit. When I play brushes, I traditionally play traditional grip. But for my playing over the years, it changed. So it changed to a match grip. Now there's different types of match grip. There's French grip, there's German grip, and then there's this grip that I've come to know as becoming my grip. So where I started with, though, was the index fingers and the thumbs with the fingers wrapped around. And that was it. I was basically going up and down, and it's kind of more of a German grip, I guess, technically. This is more of a French grip where you've got more of a timpani grip. And you end up using your fingers to kind of control the stick. Now, this is not my grip of preference, but when you're playing drum set, when you play drum set, a lot of times my hand ends up turning that way. So there's another thing that I've learned, though. Over the years, in playing grip, one of the biggest problems with playing grip is this concept of staying loose. Because in actuality, what you want to do is have this grip as loose as possible. And the looser you are, the faster you'll actually become. So part of the loosening up of it is this little gap in the hand, this little hole here. If you tighten in and you tighten down your muscles, that gap gets tighter. And when that happens, you're tightening up, and you end up having this kind of effect. So what you want to have is a very loose effect. So when you're starting with your grip, you want to basically approach the stick, put your fingers around the thumb, and you just want to... And this is going to be the biggest challenge of the microphone here, but I do believe the microphone is the way to go for my lessons. So basically, you're throwing the stick down into the pad in this kind of a fashion. Now here's what I've learned over the years. In this quest for being a loose grip, what has happened to my grip is I actually hold the sticks with my middle finger and my thumb more than with my index finger. And this is where my grip has gone to. And it took years for me to realize this is where it's gone to, but it's been something I've been probably doing for quite a long time. And it wasn't until I had a YouTube channel, I watched myself on video all the time, that I realized where my finger was. Because when I'm playing ride cymbal, a lot of times my finger comes out. And part of that is the fact that I am trying to stay loose. I want to stay as loose as possible in that right hand. That's where the speed will come from. That's where I'll be able to do. Let's put a little drum groove down here, but that's where the looseness to play 16th notes on the hi-hat come from. So, with that being said, the same thing applies to the left hand. And I'm actually holding the stick more with my middle finger than on the index finger. And I'm rarely playing it straight up and down like this either. Again, my hand turns. So, what's the purpose of this lesson? Well, the concept here is finding your grip's really important to figuring out how you're going to go on and start practicing. The second aspect is finding the grip that works for you, that keeps your hands as loose as possible, is another aspect of developing your technique. And when we talk about technique, having a loose grip is going to help you as you grow in speed. What's not going to help you is if you tighten up, holding the sticks tightly. So, in retrospect, if you're practicing like this, I don't care how fast you can get it, if you're tight like that, you're only going to go so far. The other aspect is bounce, and bounce comes when you loosen up. So here's an exercise I work on to develop my speed. So singles and doubles. Very simple single and double practice pattern. 8th notes to 16th notes. 8th notes to 16th notes. And as you get faster and you pick up the speed, where it gets to be something that's a little bit faster, let's go like that's, I'm going to go double it. One and two and three and four and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So, those two patterns, doubles and singles, are the starting point of developing technique on the drum kit. Because what the drum kit really is basically playing things on the drum kit based around singles and doubles. So, be it single triplets, or doing singles and doubles to get triplets. You're basically going to be using different stickings to get different types of patterns. But the starting point is the grip. So, as a close to this lesson, basically what I want to give you is the concepts again. First off, develop your grip to how you feel comfortable playing it. My grip is a match grip. I've learned that. So since it's a match grip, I want to have a grip where I have find my fulcrum point, and I have my other fingers wrapped around it, and I stay as loose as possible, and I keep this hole between the fulcrum as wide as possible. Work with a metronome to develop tempo. Work on bounce, and we'll get on to some lessons about bounce and solid strokes coming up. But this was your basic lesson on grip. So find your grip, follow your grip, and next time we'll talk about motion around the drum kit. And we'll talk about moving the singles and the doubles around the drum kit as time goes on. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching this lesson. Everybody have a great day. And to my grandkids, I love you. Bye.